Dani Beckstrom here now with our first look at the AccuWeather forecast. Hopefully anybody waiting for any kind of mass transit is inside somewhere.
Yeah, no kidding. Not just because it's uncomfortable, but it could be dangerous with how cold these conditions are. Let's give you the stats here, okay? For those keeping score at home, the morning low in Central Park, 16. You have to go back to February 4th of 2023 to find a colder morning. It's been almost 2 years since conditions have been this cold, and the wind chill has been as low as 4 degrees so far. The average low for today's date is freezing, so we are overachieving or underachieving, whichever way you look at it. Still sitting at 16 in the park right now, feeling like 7. 16 in the park in Morristown, but we're at 12 in Newburgh, 15 for Bridgeport, 18 for Belmar. Factor in this breeze that is going to hang with us throughout the day. Sub-zero wind chills north of the city. It feels like 1 below 0 in Poughkeepsie, but we've seen those sub-zero wind chills for Newburgh, for White Plains so far this morning. Feels like 0 in Islip, 1 for Bridgeport, 5 for Belmar. So cold, in fact, that some counties were under a cold weather advisory. This expired 24 seconds ago at 9 o'clock. So now no advisory in effect, but it is still quite cold out there as the sky remains clear today. But that brisk breeze keeps the wind chills in the single digits and teens, even as temperatures climb to the low to mid 20s today. Moving into tomorrow, it is still quite cold with sub-freezing highs, but it's a weaker wind, so it's not going to be as blustery, and there won't be as much air separation between air temperature and wind chill. Then moving toward Tuesday, another chance for snow. A quick burst of snow drifting across the tri-state the first half of the day on Tuesday. That's Christmas Eve. That clears out in time for Christmas Day as our temperatures continue a moderating trend. Christmas will top out close to 40, which sounds downright tropical compared to today, right? We're looking at sunny skies and a brisk breeze. Highs today upper teens, low to mid 20s, but feeling much colder than that. I'll have the exact wind chills that we expect this afternoon coming up in a few minutes. Michelle?
All right, cold day, but people are out traveling.
And Beckstrom, Big Dog Sunday.
Yes, spread and cheer with these pups. We're starting with a dog so nice, I had to use all 3 names. Gypsy Angel Rose here from Diane, posing so sweetly in front of the Christmas tree in her Christmas best. Very cute, thank you for sharing. And Munson here, proud in his sweater. And I'm glad, Mary and Kevin, that you're educating your dog on the forecast for today, because it is dog sweater weather for sure. It is so frigid outside. All the layers are necessary. And I think Sky got the memo as well. Not only is Sky wearing the holiday sweater, but also the bandana and the elf hat. Stephanie, that is a well-fitted dog in the middle of the wreath. The sky is the limit for Sky, right? Very cute, Michelle. Love that. All right, today, the big weather story, the frigid conditions. Temperatures this morning, the coldest that we've seen in about 2 years in New York City. And this afternoon, it doesn't get much better. Our highs are in the low to mid 20s, but it will feel like single digits for much of the day, thanks to the breezy wind. Wind weakens tomorrow, but it takes us until Christmas Eve for these temperatures to feel any better. I'll have the forecast for you coming up after the break.
AccuWeather forecast.
Tony.
Single digits in some areas, right?
Oh, oof. To quote the coolest person I know, Michelle Charlesworth, it is brick out there. You are the coolest, Michelle. And it is 16 degrees right now. That's air temperature in the park. When you factor in the wind chill, it feels worse, unfortunately. 13 in Sussex, 15 in Bridgeport, 18 down the shore for Belmar. You have to go back to February of 2023 to find a colder start to the day in the park. Feels like goose egg, nothing in White Plains and Islip. Feels like 1 degree in Bridgeport. But this is actually an improvement from where we started this morning. Many of our northern suburbs saw sub-zero wind chills to start the day, and that isn't necessarily much different than what we expect this afternoon. Even under abundant sunshine today, beautiful bright sunny skies, you're not going to feel it. It is deceptive sun, because these temperatures are absolutely frigid, and the brisk breeze that continues today really contributes to the cold feel. So sunny skies, but noticeable wind, sustained wind 10 to 20, and that means our wind chills continue in the single digits and teens for the bulk of the day. And again, this is well below normal. Our average highs should be in the low 40s. Our average lows are at the freezing mark. So to see single digit air temperature and wind chills in the single digits, you know it's cold. So take it seriously. It's not just uncomfortable or inconvenient. It can be downright dangerous. You want to limit that time outside if you can. Moving into tomorrow, the main difference is that we don't have as much wind. It is still quite cold, with an even colder start to the day tomorrow in terms of air temperature, but it's not as breezy, so it's going to feel a little less harsh. We stick with the sunshine tomorrow. Tomorrow night, clouds move in, and that's ahead of a chance for a few snowflakes to start the day on Christmas Eve. After that, we dry out and calm down for Christmas Day on Wednesday as our temperatures moderate. So we actually finish this coming week with highs in the mid-40s. That's quite the recovery compared to what we're dealing with today. I'll have the numbers for you heading into the holiday in a few few minutes. Tony?
All right, Danny, thank you so much from the airports.
Now I have to do the weather. I could talk about SNL all day long. It's my favorite
Right.
show. Let's get you outside on this Sunday. It looks beautiful, does not feel great. 16 degrees right now in Central Park, and it is frigid. This morning's low of 16 puts us at the coldest temperature read at Central Park since February 4th of 2023. And the wind chill this morning in the park is lows about 4 degrees. And to put it in perspective, the average low for today's date is just freezing. So we were overachieving or underperforming, depending on how you look at it. Right now, temperature is still in the teens. 17 in Somerville, 12 in Newburgh, 16 in the park, 18 down the shore for Belmar. But this breeze hangs with us today. It's not as gusty as yesterday where we saw 40+ mile per hour wind gusts, but it's a noticeable wind that will be a nuisance because it's this cold. Our air temperature, single digits across the board, still sub-zero in Poughkeepsie, but we're actually seeing improvement for Newburgh, for White Plains, that each saw sub-zero wind chills earlier this morning. Feels like nothing in Islip, feels like 1 whole degree in Sussex and Bridgeport. Even out east in Montauk, it feels like 6 degrees, 5 for Belmar, so it is absolutely frigid, even with clear blue sunny skies today. It is so cold out there. We stick with the sunshine, we stick with the brisk breeze, and unfortunately the cold conditions are here to stay for today as well. Our highs actually make their way to the upper teens and low 20s, but it won't feel like that because of the wind. Our wind chills stay in the single digits for much of the afternoon and even teens late tonight. As we move into the overnight hours, the wind does weaken, but I want to mention that air temperature is actually colder tomorrow. It might not feel as harsh because we won't have the gusty wind, but we could actually see air temperature sub-zero for some spots well north and west, and in the park, we do expect our lows tomorrow morning to be a degree or two colder than this morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, it's not as harsh because it's not as windy, and eventually our highs climb close to 30 degrees, but the highs that we'll hit are late tomorrow night. So tomorrow we'll still read the day as really cold out there with sunshine. It's just a little less windy. Then we got a talk of snowflake chance on Tuesday. This favors the first half of the day, maybe snow sliding through right around midday in the city. It's not a lot of snow on Christmas Eve, but we do have a chance for a few flakes. I'm not necessarily promising a white Christmas because the snowfall expectations are very small. It'll be nice to get, lucky to get even a nice dusting out there, but got to mention the snowflakes on Christmas Eve, and then we're calmer and drier on Christmas Day as our temperatures continue to trend more moderate. So it is more comfortable ahead, but today it is breezy and it is cold. Looking at our hour-by-hour planner, you see those temperatures in the teens and 20s under a sunny sky, but it will feel like single digits through this afternoon, and then it'll feel maybe a little less terrible tonight as the wind backs off, but man, it is just really cold. So today's highs, teens and 20s, tonight's lows even colder across the tri-state. Again, not just uncomfortable, but can be dangerous, so limit that time outside. Then Tuesday, a few flakes in the afternoon, and then Wednesday back to 40. We'll be in the mid-40s as we close out the week. That's the AccuWeather forecast. We'll be right back.